Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is. Back again with another episode of the We Here Now podcast, episode number 31. I'm your host, Mario Sosa, Coffee, Rio, whatever you want to call me, as long as you like, comment, and subscribe. And we back up in this thing. Back off from the Valentine's Day episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed your Valentine's Day. You treated your girl special. If you got more than one special girl in your life, I hope you wasn't skimpy and you was able to treat both your women to something nice. But back in with another episode. I know the week before I had missed. And then I came back consistent. So maybe some of y'all thought like, oh man, there you go. He gonna drop one week and then not drop the next week. No, we back on our consistent stuff. For any reason for me not to drop, would have to be like a sickness. But I already used that last time, so it's like I feel like I kind of use all my sick days as far as the podcast go. So you guys will have me. To the rest of the year, to next year, 2026, 2027. We're going to be here for a while. We're just going to keep growing and growing and growing. How y'all doing today? Y'all good? All right, for sure. But before we get into the thing, y'all know I got a... Ooh. Mm-hmm. Magic is delicious. Now, usually I just keep my little yana, but today I'm going to pour it in the cup. Just for some fact, the wrapping that I got on this, to cover exactly what it is, it's kind of getting a little dingy. You feel me? Because this is the only one I use. I don't make a new one. The same one y'all been seeing since I started doing this podcast is the exact same one. I promise you. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it authentic. I'm not changing a thing if it's not broken. But let's get into some topics. Well, not get into some topics. Y'all know how we like to start this thing off. We like to do a little weekend recap. I'll tell you guys a little bit about what's going on at my job. But honestly, this week I don't have many to tell y'all for real because it's been smooth. The students that I have, they've been good. No signs of acting out or anything like that. They just been, real cordial. They had a nice little break for President's Day, so I think they was a little bit more rejuvenated, and then they was off. Most of them was off the following Friday. So some of you guys might not like when I come on here and I talk about, my job and what I got going on. That is completely fine. And what I would do to compensate you so it doesn't feel like you wasting your time on this, it's a little X button right there. But before you go, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and then come back for the next episode. Or just simply fast forward just a little bit. I don't talk about it the whole podcast. If you don't want to hear about what I got going on my job, just go ahead, skim about 3-5 minutes, and I'm gonna be done talking with it. But that's all I got as far as the work week goes. I don't think I really told you guys about last week with my other job, but it's Cleveland, so we just got hit with a bunch of snow. Like it was like 50 degrees, and then we just got smacked with snow on Saturday. But I had to work, and I'll be out there like in the Amish country, you know what I mean? And when I say like Amish country, I mean like you're gonna see more horses than you're gonna see like horse and buggy than you're gonna see any other vehicle. You feel me? Like out there, I don't even gotta worry about my stuff being stolen because most likely they don't even know how to take off with my vehicle. You feel me? I can literally just leave the keys in there, leave the doors unlocked, and nobody gonna take my stuff. You feel me? But like I said, I've been out there with the Amish country, but with the horses comes all the other animals. They like the chickens, the goat. They got a whole bunch of stuff out there in Amish farm. So I'm at this spot, and I go to get out the car, and as soon as I pull up, I don't see nothing, right? Clear, boom, I pull up, nothing. As soon as I go to get out the car, I see these little, I don't know, these look like half turkey, half geese, like half chicken. I don't know. It looked crazy. It's something I ain't never seen in my life before. But like they kind of just start like talking at me and kind of like following me. So like me, I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I'm literally scared of anything. If it don't got two legs and two arms, like I'm not messing with it at all. Like clowns, I'm not scared of stuff like that because that's an actual human behind that we can, get it down. But it's like when you're talking about like animals, especially when it comes to birds, so unpredictable. You're talking about a bird. Look, you got two forms of attack. You got to worry about the aerial attack, and then you got to worry about them pecking on the ground just like that, or on the ground with you. That's why I don't mess with animals. You know, they're unpredictable. They're wild animals. They gonna make wild decisions. So I just choose to stay away from stuff like that. You know, I'm scared of stuff like that. You know, but I got a job to do, and I got to make sure I complete this mission. But come to find out, you know, I'll make a call here, make a call there, yo, yada 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 yada, boom. We in there. Come to find out, they're called chickpeas or something like that. But I guess what they do is like they eat all the insects, and it's kind of like I mean, what I got from it, it's kind of like having like a dog, like a dog that's just always outside, just a form of like a security system, you know. So like I said, when I pulled up, it was probably about like 20 or 30 of them. They didn't bother me, but like once I sat there for a while making all these calls, I go to like figure out the closest cleared, you know. I get out the car, they wasn't even anywhere near me, you know what I mean? They're in the front yard, they're not even bothering me. But I guess what they do, you know, any type, like I said, it's just another form of security system, you know. But when they come, they pull up, they see who it is, yada yada yada, and then they're gonna leave you alone. They're not gonna keep bothering you. They just want to see what it is. They're gonna make the noise, you know, alert whoever needs to be alerted, and then go about their business. Cool, I don't mind that. You know, they go about their business, I go about my business. You know, but what I didn't know is that you can actually eat these chickpeas, which I thought was kind of cruel. It's like you kind of raising these animals, you know, to protect you and all this other stuff. Because it's not like a regular chicken, you know. The regular chickens, you're gonna keep them in the coop. We need some eggs, we need some chicken. You're gonna go get them. These are like, I'm gonna start about it. Y'all got dogs out there or pets or whatever the case may be. Imagine you having a dog, a guard dog, that'll let you know when you got intruders, and then whenever you get hungry, you decide you're gonna gobble up your dog. That's crazy, right? But I mean, teach his own. Um, Obviously, it's probably more healthier than getting it out of a grocery store, all the GMO and all that. Just spit like crazy. All that GMO and other stuff they be putting in the food. But I have a new, not even a new level of respect, but I just have like the highest most respect for people who live like the farm life. They catch and cook everything. Everything's on the yard or on the yard, the acres, whatever you want to call it. That's really where we came from. You know what I mean? All this stuff that we eat now is like stuff that we just decided to add on the menu. Like we was really getting involved with like the basics. Y'all remember the food pyramid? They got the dairy, the grain, the fruit, the meat. That's all we need. That's all we had needed. Ain't nowhere on there talking about no doggone Chipotle burrito, no Raisin Canes, no Condados. We don't need none of that extra stuff because it's exactly what I just said it is. It's extra. But we're so used to um now just how everything is kind of involved. Like that's kind of how we get down. We get in, we fit it, and then we go the extra mile as well. Don't mean to go on a tangent, but I said all that to say, if you live that farm life, obviously it's not um easy. When I'm out here, I see a lot of the you know, the is that offensive to say Amish? It's 2024 now, so you got to anytime you say anything, you got to check and make sure it's not offensive. Is it offensive to call people Amish? The Amish. Y'all give me some feedback. I just want to know. I don't want to offend nobody intentionally, but if I do offend you unintentionally, well, I don't know. That's on you. Take it up with whoever you got to take it up with. Because if you take it up with me, please come respectful. That's all I ask. But yeah, I think they got to figure it out there in Amish country. Though I'll be honest with you, because a lot of all their kids work. They always have a lot of kids with big acres and stuff like that, but they all working. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, they got the horse and buggy and stuff like that, and they got these little one-legged scooters they be riding around with and all that stuff. But I mean, they kind of got to figure it out. You know, they doing their own thing. They're not bothered by anybody, and they really don't need anybody for anything because they literally had their own farms. They know how to work and maintenance stuff and all that stuff. So shout out to Amish. Shout out to the Amish. Once again, if that's offensive, you know, refer back to 30 seconds later when I was talking about it being offensive. But shout out to the Amish. You know, self-sufficient people, and they in their own world, and they don't care what we got going on. So shout out to them. Now, I said I wasn't gonna do a work recap, and then I continue to talk about work recap. Look, this how I be sometimes. Sometimes I be here, sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm there. Look, sometimes I'm off camera. You don't know where I'm gonna be, but stick with me. We got big news though. Um, next episode, uh, most likely next episode, we will be having our first guest. Now, I don't want to spoil who the guest is, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to say it anyways. I'm going to have my brother on the podcast, my oldest brother on my father's side on the podcast, kind of chop it up. You guys will get to know a little bit more about me just through him. And it's been a long time coming for sure. When I had put out the little I don't say like the little challenge, but when I dropped the gem of how you can be a guest on the podcast, there was so many people that were willing to ask what to do to get on the podcast, and then they weren't actually doing what they need to do to find out how they can get on the podcast. And I don't really take no shade from that at all. It's like it's people that like it's like really like my homies, and they don't watch the podcast. They don't repost nothing. Like they don't even mention anything about the podcast, and that's okay. That don't really hurt my feelings. It's like I'm not really doing this because I'm looking for other people to I don't know like how to say it. Like it'd be nice, but like I'm not depending on other people. Like even before I started doing the podcast, it was a couple other people that actually wanted to start doing the podcast and we want to do it consistently. But at the end of the day, I end up not even doing it for the simple fact is, are you going to be as invested to the podcast as I am, you know? Because at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm putting all this money into doing this because I truly love doing it. This is truly what I like to do, you know? And I don't think other people are going to treat it as if. So that's why I didn't even start doing it with other people because I don't want to have to rely on anybody. This is the 31st episode. You know, we've been going strong with no guests. I think it's about time we open that up a little bit. I mean, we're 21 weeks away from hitting the year mark for me doing the podcast. So excited for that. We're gonna finally have a guest on here. You guys are definitely gonna like him. I'm not gonna hype him up anymore. It's my brother. We got a lot of similarities. We're also different, but yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, but anybody else who's trying to get on the podcast, I don't know what else to say. Like I talked about it before, what you need to do to get on the podcast, and we just gonna leave it at that. If you want to take the initiative to actually, you know, step out that comfort zone and do whatever you need to do to get the podcast or to get on the podcast, so be it. You know, and I don't want it to make it seem like a thing like, oh, like if you don't do this little stipulation I'm actually do, like I don't rock you. It's not even that, but like, I gotta find a way to decipher the people, you know, because it was a lot of people at once that were hitting me up. So like, if it would have been like one here, one here, one here, that would have been cool. But it was like 1, 2, and then 7 1 week. So like, I had to find like a fair way for everybody to be able to be a part of it. And sure enough, I did that and people didn't even do that. So I just go to show you, man, don't be waiting on other people. Just do it yourself. Whatever you want to do, whatever you think you can do, whatever you have your mind set on, don't wait for other people. Even if you think it'll be better with some type of partnership, don't don't just limit to yourself to just that, you know. Do the work on your own, you know, do it dolo, whatever it is, just keep grinding and then the people will come sure enough. But like I said, I'll be definitely very excited. First guest. Been talking about it for a minute now, and now we're here. So I don't have any much more to speak on that as well. So that's why this week's episode probably will be a little bit shorter than the next week with the guest because I want to say some of the topics for next week. But we still got a couple topics we're going to talk about. We got two topics. We're gonna talk about All Star Weekend and another topic I got, but other than that, it's gonna be a short podcast this week because I really don't know how y'all feel. I don't know if you guys like the long form better or you like the short term. All my favorite podcasts that I've done recording, they're over 50 minutes. So clearly, I like the long form better, and I don't know where you guys are at with it, but we'll be doing some shorts soon, some reels and stuff like that to post on IG just to kind of get more people engaged. But I don't know, like I said, that all comes with time. You know, like I said, I'm putting this is all money going out. I'm not getting any money in. So when it comes to stuff like that, obviously, with the right timing, we'll get to it. But yeah, other than that, just stay tuned for the ride. You know, got a lot of special things coming. But moving on. It's still February. Happy Black History Month. We got about 9 days left for Black History Month. So whatever you plan on doing in that time, I'm not doing anything different. I'm black every single day out of the year, 365 days, 52 weeks out of the year. So I'm not doing anything different. Definitely embracing the fact that it is Black History Month. We're supposed to be celebrating it, but I don't see that many people talking about like y'all talk about other stuff. Y'all talk about that Taylor Swift stuff more than y'all talk about Black History Month. Y'all talk about the Stanley Cup more than we talk about Black History Month. And I'm kind of guilty because I actually did talk a little bit more about that stuff than the Black History Month. But if you're white and you're an ally, you should really be talking about Black History Month more, because when all the riots and stuff was going on, everybody had the BLM in their profile. And all them people that had that BLM in your profile, look, it's still, well, we got about 9 days because, it's the shortest month of the year, but this year we got a leap year, which my brother, he's actually born on a leap year, so he's turning 9 this year. That's interesting. But with that being said, it is the shortest of the year, but we got an extra day this year, so let's make the most of it, ladies and gents. But there's nothing I want to talk about because these segments are gonna stem more from like work related stuff. But how many of y'all I don't even say how many because we all been in a situation like that. But taking your coworkers home, how do y'all feel about that? I genuinely want to know because me personally, I don't mind it that much. But me, I'm a type of person like I'm a planner. Like you got to tell me before just so I have an idea after. It's nothing worse than getting done with work, thinking you about to go home, and then somebody asks for a ride. I'm telling you where this comes from. It's dude I work with. He's cool, and I rock with him too. It's nothing personal, you know what I mean? But this is how I feel about the situation with like taking people home from work. Um, how do I say? You don't want to put somebody. Okay. Let me just go all the way back. This is me personally. I'm not a person that likes to say no. You know what I mean? I do like to do for people when I can, and it's fitting for me to do so. But I don't want to feel like it's a responsibility. Every time I come into work, it shouldn't be a thing where it's like, okay, I got to take this person home from work. And this isn't the situation I'm talking about, but let me explain. If every time you got to go to work and you know there's going to be somebody that needs to ride home after work, that could be a little demoralized. Now, some people would just be like, oh, why don't you just lie and say you got something to do? Because I'm not in the business just to lie for no reason. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, if I choose to say no, that's my right to be able to say no. It's my vehicle, it's my license, it's my gas. So it's like anything in that bubble, I got the right to say no. So let me put it like this: the dude, I probably taken him home twice now. One time he was at a spot, another time. So yeah, about the third time now. So I get off work, and what happened? I get off work, boom, he comes in. I'm like, all right, cool. So everybody signed up doing their ones or twos. So like he's kind of just standing there. So I'm like, all right, cool. We like I said, we clocking everybody just kicking job, having a good time, whatever the case, trying to get out the door. So I seen him standing there. He wasn't clocking out or anything. I'm like, oh, he probably about to ask for a ride. I said, whoo, man, I cannot wait to get home. Take me a little nap. So I'm trying to play it off already. Now keep in mind, like how my days are split up is like it's a morning, it's afternoon, and then it's evening, depending on what your route is and stuff like that. So this is in the morning. So like this is usually I have a morning, and then I gotta come back like an hour later, and then I'm back in the afternoon, and then I got a midday, and then the night run. This day, I got a nice long break so I can go home and sleep. I didn't get much sleep the night before. I was like, oh, perfect, So, like, I really am tired, you feel me? So, I'm saying all this is kind of, nudge. Like, I ain't trying to really take it home, but I ain't trying to say no either. I'm doing this because, like I said, I don't like to say no. Like, if you ask me, I know yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? But sure enough, that's all it really was. And, he ends up leaving. Okay, I'm still clocking out. Okay, no big deal. Go about our day. Yada, yada, yada. Boom, I come outside. He asks for a ride. All right, come on, man. I got you. And keep in mind, he don't even live far from me. Now, I'm super close to my house to, like, where one of my jobs is, what I drive the kids. But he probably live, like, let's say I got to drive 2 minutes to work. He's 15 minutes. Now, 15 minutes isn't bad, right? Comparatively. But when you compare that to the 2 minutes, it sounds like super long, you know, and then it's cutting to my nap time if I want to load before, you know, it's oh. Anyways, it's just when I'm done with my shift, I want to be done with my shift, you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about anything else. I just want to go home, relax, and get it done. But sure enough, like I said, I don't like to say no, so I ended up taking them home. Am I wrong for feeling like I just want to know how y'all truly feel about that? You know what I mean? Because I think I might bring that topic up when I got bro in here. Because honestly, I've been in this situation a lot of times, but I've also grown up. I didn't get my license until I got my temps when I was I got my temps. No, I got my license when I was 18. Okay, it was 18. I didn't get my car until I was 19. But I know what it's like not having a ride. You got to get here. You got to get here. Cool, I get it. The only difference is like ever since I've had a job, I've always had like a reliable. I don't even want to say reliable. I've always had transportation to get to work and stuff like that. So I've never been in a situation where it's like I had to ask somebody for a ride after we just got done working. And I try to be sympathetic to people not being in a situation like me. Maybe it's just a bad time for them right now. I got to be sympathetic or empathetic or whatever the word you want to rearrange and switch it up for. Um, as far as taking people home, because at the end of the day, it's like this is my coworker. I'm gonna have to see him again. One of them, I'm not gonna take him home and then see him later. It probably wouldn't be awkward, but it's like for me, I'm not even. I don't know. I just don't move like I know a lot of y'all out there probably like, man, I'm not gonna take him home. If I didn't like this person, it'd be easy for me to say. I don't know. I would think it'd be easier for me to say no to somebody that I didn't like, but I actually like the dude. You know what I mean? Paul's like he's cool kid. That's the one that's the close to my age as far as the job comes. So I don't know. It's not really a big deal, but definitely wanted to look out for him and bring that to y'all attention. So how y'all feel? Y'all rocking with y'all taking y'all coworkers home from work, or y'all saying nada? And I don't really know how to judge my fan base right now, but I feel like a lot of you guys are gonna say no. But I mean, and that's okay. That's your right. It's your car. You can do whatever you please to do with your vehicle. Now, I wanted to bring up another topic too. But before we get there, we can't just jump right into a topic and then have to worry about getting cut off and then you miss something and this year and it doesn't match up or it doesn't get recorded. So what we gonna do, we're gonna go to a commercial break. And then when we get back, we're gonna talk about another topic. We're gonna talk about All-Star Weekend. And I'm seeing y'all on y'all way to enjoy the rest of y'all week. Shalom. And we're back. Yes, sir. I almost did the whole intro to the again, but we're just back from a commercial break. Y'all know how we rocking. Let's get into it. Now, we were just talking about jobs. I know a lot of you guys have jobs out there, or you don't have jobs. Whatever you got going on, I hope you're trying your absolute best. Because with the COVID, it kind of messed up for a lot of people. A lot of people was at home getting them unemployment checks. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people that wasn't collecting the unemployment check. I was working at Amazon at the time, so that was considered like an essential job. So it's like we never stopped moving. You know what I mean? It was all gravy. But people was getting like the same amount that I was making. Amazon, they was paying good money too. Like I was making good money at Amazon, and dudes is literally getting like the same check pretty much and not going to work. I was thinking about, I was like, man, we about to be big chilling, Camelo. No, but for I wanted to talk about jobs in general because we was already talking about that. But there's a man that had went viral. He was waiting 3 hours for a job interview. Now it turned out he was waiting all this time just for a position that necessarily wasn't open yet, but the company was just trying to make sure they had somebody to fill in a position if that position was gone. But the problem is they never informed them until after he had waited for 3 hours that the position wasn't technically available, that he would be on call. Now, I got a question for y'all. It's gonna be a very interactive um thing that we got on, like we always got. Um, how long are y'all gonna wait at a job interview? Now, 3 hours is crazy. Now, me personally, I'm a very patient person. I like to assume that somebody isn't just like completely ignoring me or completely forgot about me. They're handling something. Like in my mind, when I've been waiting too long, I just have somebody. I just can imagine somebody just running back and forth. They're sweating, knock stuff down. They're picking stuff up. That's what I imagine is going on when you're not attending to me. So I'm very patient when it comes to that. But I'm not waiting 3 hours for an interview. Way too long. When is your cutoff? Like, if you're at an interview, what is your cutoff? Now, granted, you get to the interview, be like, okay, I'll give you a scenario. You get to the interview. All right, you are? Oh, okay. So what we're gonna do is, we're not ready for you just yet. We're gonna have you wait 10 minutes, and then someone will be right with you. You're probably gonna wait the 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes isn't that bad to wait for an interview, right? You're gonna wait the 10 minutes. Now, after that 10 minutes, you might get a little antsy. You might get up. You might ask somebody. But that's only after 10 minutes of somebody just told you that, right? If nobody came and talked to you for 3 hours, I don't think most people would even stay. You know what I mean? Even if they're telling you, oh, someone will be with you shortly, someone will be with you shortly, I don't think most people are going to stay. Because most times when you have a interview, unless it's just a walk-in interview, even those have scheduled time. But for the most part, when you have an interview, you have a time slot, right? So if I go for an interview at 4 o'clock, I'm showing up punctual. If my interview is at 4 o'clock, I will be wherever I need to be at 3:45, just in case they can get me in early. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get in and get out. I'm trying to get my fettuccine and get out. You feel me? So as far as that waiting stuff goes, because you have a scheduled time already. Now it's the point after that scheduled time you're gonna wait. If that's gonna determine, is that the job for you? Is that not the job for you? Right now, okay, so okay, you got the three. Okay, yeah, no, I'm just trying to work this out in my head. That what in the world could have happened that could have made this man say that long for an interview? You know what I mean? Um, and the guy was black too, so that's what really surprised me. You know what I mean? Because black people be fed up. We always be late when it comes to other people having us like, we ain't got time for that. We came on time, somewhat on time. We got to get out of here. But yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was black. But anyways, moving on. As far as waiting too long for a job interview, me personally, I'm super patient. But if I come for an interview and like I was saying before, if the interview is at 4, I get there at 3:45. 4 o'clock comes. Okay, so I'm gonna be right with you. 4:05, 4:10, 4:15. I gotta say something. I gotta find something because I'm about to go. I'm about to go find another job who's actually gonna take my time seriously. Because that's already not a good look as far as like the hiring process goes. Because if I showed up late, it would be an issue, right? So it should be no different for you, showing up late to give me my paperwork or to even acknowledge that I'm there. Um, I say all that to say that's what I should have named the podcast. I should have named the podcast. I say all that to say because boy, I be saying that like that's all I got to say. But anyways, I say all that to say as far as the job interview process go, it can be that's probably like the craziest that I've heard in a while as far as like wait time. But I'm curious. I'm curious to hear some of you guys' stories as far as some bad job interview experience you've had because I really haven't had any. Yeah, I haven't had one bad job experience. I had one where the hiring process, the lady, she was like, she had done it so many times, so it's like she's telling me stuff like she thinking about it so second nature, but this is my first time doing it, so it's like not first time doing an interview, but like the interview for your company. Like this is in the back of her mind, she's not even thinking about it. It's just like second nature for her to have this information and see these facts. Like, I don't know. Excuse me. So I kind of got a little attitude from her about that, but I was like, but other than that, I haven't had any bad job interviews. Yeah, you guys can probably see why I don't want to do a long one today because this is like another good topic that I could have brought up, you know, with my guests. But I'm gonna end it right there as far as like the bad interview processes. But I will talk about some job interviews that I have had, and it's kind of funny because most times, okay, you got a job interview, you know, you done shook your hand, you done came in, dressed up all to the nine, you got your Stacey Adams on, you got your dress pants, you got your belt. Sorry, I ain't gonna forget about your ladies. You might got a skirt on, or if you're a lady, you might get your Hillary Clinton on, so you might be wearing the dress pants, the Stacey Adams, and a belt. But you're gonna dress to impress, you're gonna show up, you're gonna look nice, you're gonna look presentable, like you are 100% fit for the job, right? You fill out the information, you give your contact information. Do you have any questions? Most people are gonna ask a question like, or you might not even ask questions like, oh, do you have any questions? No, because you just went through an interview process, so you might not have any questions. You might be like, oh, is it every week or is it bi-weekly as far as the pay go? How many sick days we getting? What's the PTO? You might ask a question like that. But how many of you guys, when you've done a job interview, when they ask that question, how many of you have actually asked if you got the job? Really think about that, because I think most people are scared because like you go to an interview and it's like obviously you're trying to get the job, but like when they say do you have any questions, most people won't even ask if they got the job. And surprisingly enough, when I had worked at Amazon a couple years ago, that's the only question I asked. Like I was like, he's like, you got any questions? I was like, yeah, did I get the job? He's like, yeah. I was like, and he was telling me, he's like, most people don't even ask me that, you know? And I don't know what was going through my head to make me ask that. It might have just been the fact that I really didn't have any questions, you know what I mean? I was like, figure it, just kind of like a jokester naturally, you know, kind of like to break the ice so it's not so tense. Like it's a job interview, you know, you're up there, you know, you dressed up, you're trying to look all nice, you're trying to talk politely, you're just trying to do all the right things just to make sure like you ensure you get a job, you know? But from now on, anybody watching, if you have a job interview, if they say, do you have any questions? Ask them if you got the job so you don't have to waste your time. Or feel like, I mean, I'm naturally like an anxious person. Like, I be thinking about stuff like that. Now, I think I do have a good work ethic. So anywhere I do apply for as far as a job interview, as far as like me being qualified to do it, I think most times I will get the job, you know. But I mean, I think we can all agree with that. You know, it's not a good feeling like the like not knowing, you know. So when you go to the next job interview, instead of walking out in there and be like, oh man, I hope I get the job, just ask. What's the worst that can happen? No, you didn't get the job. All right, thank you. You can go to another interview right after this. You know, don't wait for them to be like, oh well, I don't know. We'll call. If they do what I don't know, we'll call. Man, not saying you're not gonna get the job, but just start looking for other interviews because if they can't respect you enough that the fact that you came on time, you dressed up to get the job, and they can't even give you a yes or no as far as the job goes, man, like we were talking about earlier, don't wait on nobody else. Do it yourself, and then figure out the rest later. Okay, y'all be straight. Mm. Oh, I'm sorry. This is magically delicious. We only got a couple minutes left. Well, not a couple. Um, we got some time. But last but not least, excuse me, I wanted to talk about All Star Weekend. Um, Man, the basketball All Star Weekend it isn't the same anymore for whatever reason. It is just very different. I think a lot of that comes down to the lack of competitiveness in the game and like actual like y'all know what I'm trying to say. It's like is nobody is taking it serious. You know what I mean? Like you see better defense played at the recess in middle school. You know what I mean? Like nobody it. Sit down. Like nobody is playing defense, you know. Um, but I don't know. It's just a whole lot of scoring, pretty much. The one factor I want to see them bring back, I want to see them bring back when the players will wear their jersey from their team in the actual game. I think that'd be dope. I think that's when the All Star game was probably the best. Um, and this like early 2000 too. But like the East and the West thing, it definitely used to be competitive, but like now everybody's just friends with each other, so it's like it's not as competitive as they should be. So like they need to throw like some type of incentive for the winner or something, you know what I mean? Because it's just not entertaining to watch. And that's just the All-Star game. Now, if you really want to talk about the rest of the weekend, let's talk about the dunk contest. The dunk contest was weak. Hey, shout out to Mac McClung, whatever you want to call him. Pause. But 2 years in a row, won the slam dunk contest. He's not even on an NBA team. He's in the G League, And then he's white, so he did this on Black History Month. He was showing out, but shout out to that boy because he was probably the best dunker in the whole concert. You know what I mean? Like Jaylen Brown wasting our time. He didn't put a Michael Jackson glove on his left hand and go, "Oh, I can't use left." But he tried to say he was paying homage to. Man, it was just you dunked over Costinot. He's 5'4", and then he sat down in a chair. I'll put it like this: Matt McClung, he jumped over Shaq sitting down. They still would have discredited Matt if he had sat. If Shaq was sitting down and Matt had jumped over him, they would have discredited him for that. And Shaq is 7 foot tall, so Jaylen Brown, you get no props for jumping over Kai Cenat. But that's just a list of, or just one of the many things that was wrong with the dunk contest. But I don't know what they got to do to get this the All Star Weekend under control, because it's definitely it's trash. I'm just gonna flat out say there's no better way to put it, no way to sweeten it up. Say oh what it just got to be better. Honestly, the most exciting part for me was the 3 point contest with Steph and that Sabrina girl. Now I think I came on here and said Steph was gonna win. Obviously Steph was gonna win, but I wasn't completely writing Sabrina out. Because any real hoopers know, when it comes to girls basketball, the physicality isn't always there, but like as far as the skill and the fundamental, like is always there. You know what I mean? So like, shoot or shoot. That goes for girl, boy, like whatever you want to call it, kids, old people. Like if you a shooter, like you can shoot. And that's why I felt like Sabrina was going to be fine. And sure enough, she had 26, which was tied for like the top for the rest of the guys in the 3 point contest. So it's like you can say what you want, but I mean she definitely did her thing. They showed up. I think they're trying to get like Caitlin Clark and some of those girls in the 3 point contest as well. Was it only for the WNBA? Yeah, because I think Sabrina's in the WNBA. But once the homegirl, Paige Beckers get out, she's a dog. She could be in the 3 point contest. Got that clip. So I don't know. That was definitely exciting to see them do like a little crossover like that, because obviously that was the first. And I don't know. Maybe it should be something that's there to say, because even if you have stuff like that, you get the women involved in the All Star game, cheering for the women, which is actually funny because Aisha, Steph's wife, was actually rooting for Sabrina. I don't know. You gotta love it. You know what I mean? Like obviously, when it comes to like her man and against other men, she don't be rooting for a man. But it's like she was showing some love to Sabrina. So shout out to Aisha. I know she had that little phase where she was mad about not getting attention from other guys. I mean, Steph, that's your business. You know what I mean? How's her cookbook doing? Does anybody got Aisha Curry cookbook? Is she really cooking in there? Or she just get somebody to throw some stuff in there? Because I'm trying to figure out, is she mixed with something? Or she just light skinned? Because I don't know. I ain't gonna say it. I'm saying I feel like she can't cook. And your husband is Chef Curry, and you married to Chef Curry, and I feel like you can't cook. But I feel like that's why you did the cookbook, because oh, Chef Curry, Chef Aisha Curry, but he really be cooking. I don't know if you really be cooking like the Aisha, but shout out to the Currys doing their things. But the last thing I did want to talk about, one thing I always loved about the All Star Weekend was seeing the celebrity game, just seeing like who are the best hoopers. Now, this year, really didn't care too much. It was a lot of the football players that really shot in the All Star game, or the Celebrity All Star game. They come there, they dunking everybody. They're not super coordinated, but you see the coordination when they go up to get a ball and they snatch it out of the air and stuff like that. But, okay. But other than that, it's not I don't know, as far as like skill go. So I was thinking about it. The best celebrity hoopers that we've seen. Now, I didn't even write it down, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. It's got to be like Chris Brown. It's got to be like Quavo. Um, Man, I'm trying to think. I think I put those two like at the top of the list. I mean, Bieber, he can hoop a little bit. Like I said, the football players are usually pretty good. Snoop is decent. He's tall. He can dunk too. You know what I mean? But I don't know, that's always the most exciting part for me is the celebrity All-Star game. And Lily Chopper, he played in high school, but I mean, I just seen Chopper get cooked by Quavo the other day, so it's like ain't Chopper taller than Quavo, so it's kind of like I don't know, and like Chopper don't have like a crazy offensive game either, but shout out to NLE Chopper, shout out to all the celebrities that's hooping because that's definitely been a lifesaver. I feel like as far as the All Star weekend goes, Kai played in the All Star weekend this year, like I mentioned about him getting dunked or whatever. He was getting no buckets. But shout out to Kai. They really didn't play him that much anyways. I didn't think that would really be a play for ESPN to do to kind of just have him on there as far as like, the hype and stuff like that, getting him there. But that's what happened. He really didn't play too much. But shout out to Kai. All in all, it was definitely exciting. But usually I like to leave here with I do my little question. But I feel like I already left you guys with some questions, get the brain flowing and going. Like I said, this isn't going to be a long episode this week. I just narrowed it down just a wee bit. But keep in mind, next week's episode, I got a guest coming on. Pause. Y'all come tap in. Show your boy some love. We might be in a new spot when we record too, but don't tell nobody. If you in this thing snitching, come on, no, don't do that. Don't do me like that. But you want to send us off, Camilla? No. All right. Well, like I said, a shorter episode this week, but this has been another episode of the We Here Now podcast, episode 31. I am your boy Mario, Big Sosa, Rio, Marlon, whatever you want to call me, as long as you call me, you like me, and you subscribe to me. Let me do that again. As long as you like, comment, and subscribe, everything is going to be just fine. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my loyal subscribers who come back and constantly watch. Obviously, view has kind of took a dip and turn, but y'all see, I don't care. The week before that, I did less than what I did last week, and guess what? I still came back. Man, those numbers not going to bother me at all. I'm going to keep going. Regardless, y'all going to keep watching, or whoever's watching is going to watch, but I mean, that's just what it is. We all got to start somewhere. I'm not embarrassed about it when I see some of my video. Well, I think there's only one video now that has single digit view, but when I see that, it doesn't deter me from, not wanting to shoot the podcast. So let that be a lesson to the rest of you guys as well. Don't let the numbers, anything like that, discourage you for whatever reason. Just keep going, and that's what we're going to do. If you've been here before, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how we rocking. If you are a new supporter, you might have just came at the right time because we got our first guest coming next week, and we going crazy. Yeah, sure. This has been another episode of the Week Here Now podcast. Oh, baby.